about more pluses. So the way I look at it, like these two platforms, and the way I think that I would like to construct the message is that these are different platforms and they have their own benefits. They're not necessarily, one is not necessarily strictly better than the others. They're offering different kind of benefits, and they depends on what your goals are and depends what you're trying to achieve. Some of them may be better for you on one platform, and so which platform is really better is really what do you value? What in your particular case do you care about openness? Do you care about control experience? Do you want stability, or you want to have options? So all these questions, and I guess unless you're actually in the business of delivering some kind of a solution, it's going to be really, really difficult to decide what particular solution is really good for you. I will, at the end of the presentation, I'm gonna show you some of the lessons learned that we did and how we approached the decision what to support. So this is a number, the latest number that I was able to find. I guess it's only a few days old. 85 million devices. iPhone is obviously the most in terms of the numbers and in terms of user experience, is definitely the most powerful platform right now. And it's there's no, like right now, if you look at the Android numbers are somewhere around several million. So we're talking about order of magnitude difference right now. But replacement, it's also important to remember that replacement for phones, replacement time, about, depends on the country, it's different, but rough number about 2 years. So if in 2 years, depends, based on what the trend is right now, it can be totally different. So like say if you have a trend today that a certain device sells 3 times more than the other, well, in 2 years, you may find out that device actually had that market share. So the things are changing. I guess the point here is that things can change here because of the lifetime of the phone and how often we buy replacements for phones. Market situation is going to be changing dramatically. Some other pluses for iPhone. It's clear to me that 4G is going to, in some ways, if you look at the first introduction of iPhone really set a standard for. So once people start using iPhone, once they started using browsers, and found out that actually it's possible to browse internet with a Safari, and it's in some cases as productive as some other devices. That was a kind of a changing trend. So iPhone, in a lot of ways, really set the bar. And when after iPhone was released, anything that will be far away from how iPhone works really is not even accepted by the market. So you have to be very close to that standard. And right now, I think iPad. I think Apple did it again. They set a standard. Obviously, they're not the only ones who were working on it. Basically, this operating system in development, Android for tablets were in development for quite a while. Apple was just one of the first to release one. So these are the pluses. If you look at the minuses, you're totally at the mercy of the vendor. In fact, so much that I don't think there's any other example. Maybe like 30 years ago, when IBM was cherry picking who can and who cannot develop things for their platform. But it's very as close as it gets. And some of the news of latest few days, they're just the proof of that. You may be developing an application and you wouldn't even know that there's some little thing where that basically puts it in a category that Apple wouldn't want to publish. And that's almost happened to us. And they changed that. So it's a quite an interesting situation that where you basically you're investing so much time trying to build a business, and you would think that it's not like you can go ahead of a time and go on Apple, is it okay if I'm going to develop this application? There's no such a thing. You basically develop application, you kind of look what their agreement is, and you kind of like, yeah, that should be okay. And then you submit it, and they say, no, it's